Okay guys, this is going to be more of a serious video. Nah, like seriously, this is actually going to be a more serious video, which I don't like to do, but what I want to talk about is not just the Candybbug situation, but much rather the behavior of the people in the gacha space in general, because it's just so immature and disgusting what's going on in the gacha space every time we have some type of drama. It's ridiculous. And that's not even to mention that most of these dramas are just overblown. It's just blown out of proportion. Anytime there's some minuscule problem, right? People just blow it out of proportion and act like it's the biggest deal ever when it's not. And whether you like me or not, I would really appreciate if you guys could just watch the video until the end. But with that being said, let's just get into it. I'm not really here to defend her or anything. Like, I'm not gonna try to justify her takes. I still disagree with her for the most part, and I still think that her takes on the characters suck. But do I really care this much that I'm gonna be sitting here day after day and actively assault this person or comment some bullshit on her? No, I'm just gonna make fun of what she said that I did not agree with. I'm just gonna criticize her once and for all, and I'm just gonna move on. That's how everybody should do it. Because while she deserves backlash and criticism, right? Sure, there were some weird things she said, but by no means is any of the stuff she said a justification to go and actively hate on her or harass her or send her any kind of weird messages. It's just completely unjustified. Because if I remember correctly, everything she said, right, all her opinions, it was just about fictional characters. She said that Linnea was a creep, or she said something weird about Arlecchino, stuff like that, which, you know, sure, it's a weird opinion, but at the end of the day, it's just her opinion about fictional characters. It's literally completely meaningless. It's just a weird take, a weird opinion, but not more. That's where it ends. And people really need to realize that an opinion about a fictional character really is not that deep. And eventually you gotta realize that people have different opinions, and you can joke about that, you can roast them for it, but going out of your way to actively hate on someone or harass them or send any kind of other weird stuff to them is just completely unjustified, immature, and it's childish, and it's not gonna profit both parties. Like, you are getting mentally worse from it, and that person is getting mentally worse from it as well, so it doesn't help anyone. And the sad part about this is that even if she took accountability and literally apologized for everything, right, people still would not care. It's a lose-lose situation, and this video is literally proof. So if you've ever wondered why content creators don't take accountability and why they just don't do that, well, here's why. There's literally no point. Because people are so hate-filled, even after apologizing, which she's done in that video, right? She apologized if she offended people. Of course, she didn't change her ideas, right? She still thinks what she believes in a lot of the cases. But she apologized if she offended anyone. She explained her points, and I don't really see anything wrong with that video, to be honest. Now, do I still disagree with her on some parts? Sure. Do I still think her opinions really suck? Sure. But she apologized, and at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? She took accountability. But now people want to be sitting here and acting as if that never happened, which is just not true. It's just dishonest. This is what I mean, bro. It's a lose-lose situation. Even if she's literally apologizing, taking accountability, people just don't care. People always be saying, why don't you take accountability? Oh, take accountability, bro. This is why. It's just sad, man. And I guess that's just the reality of the internet as a whole. But it's still pretty devastating to see. And that is ignoring the messages that she got from people on, like, I don't even know what this is, but she got those messages somewhere, which obviously those messages are extremely disgusting, right? And no one really deserves this. At least not for making a video about fictional gacha characters. And one thing I also want to say, right? The same people that be morally grandstanding and lecturing me about how I'm bad for calling someone retarded. These are the same people who be sitting here actively hating on someone and harassing them. These are the same people. Now, which one do you think is worse? Just a quick question, right? Which one do you think is worse? Me calling someone retarded, which, unless you have a seriously underdeveloped brain, you understand that this is just sarcasm, or someone actively hating on someone and harassing them. Which one do you think is worse? People will get mad over some random word that you said at some point, but then these same people will be actively hating on people and harassing them. It makes no sense to me. And all that Candybbug stuff aside, right? The gacha space in itself is so incredibly toxic and retarded, it's beyond ridiculous. I know that a lot of people view me as this really evil person who hates everybody and is homophobic and this and that, but at the end of the day, I know that none of that is true. And I'm just a really unhinged person, right? I have an unhinged humor, I have a sarcastic, unhinged way of expressing myself, and I have fun roasting someone's behavior or criticizing it or criticizing someone's opinion, but it is never ever my goal to harass anybody or cause any form of harm to another person. I made mistakes in the past and I've learned from it.
Wake the fuck up, you vape and you smoke and you drink and you want to compete against me in life? I have more discipline than you, I am more obsessed than you.
Look, I may be roasting people for the things they do or the things they say, but at the end of the day, we're all human, we all do mistakes, and just as somebody else might have a shitty take, I sometimes have a shitty take as well. And while I was kind of harsh about my opinions in the last video, and I made a lot of fun of the opinions that she had about the characters. At the end of the day, I know that everything she said was just about fictional characters, and so I'm not mad at her. People think that someone's opinion defines them as a person. This is not how it works. People think that just because you disagree with someone on something, you can't be on good terms with that person. And this is just so childish and so immature. It's insane. Like, this is something you would do in 5th grade or in preschool, but you don't do that shit as an adult. I have friends that I disagree with all the time, and guess what? They're some of my best friends I've ever had, and we're still friends, and we still disagree on a lot of things. This is actually where true friendship and respect is grounded in. You don't just respect a person for the opinions that they have, respect them for who they are, for what they've done. For example, I don't like her takes. I disagree with her about the stuff she said about fanservice and about Linnea and all this stuff, and I think it's genuinely stupid. But I know that outside of that, she has a lot of other opinions, and who knows, maybe I agree with her on something completely different. It's unjustified for me to sit here and judge her for who she is, because I don't know her, and you guys don't know anything about her either. Everybody is just so filled to the brim with hate. Oh my goodness, this person did this, and this person did that, and this guy is a racist, and this guy is a homophobic. Yo, how about you look at yourself? Like, shut the fuck up. Why do people immediately gotta slap labels onto everyone? All these words have lost their meanings. Racist lost its meaning. Homophobia lost its meaning. All these words are meaningless now because these hateful people are abusing these words in contexts that don't even make sense. And please do not misunderstand this. I know I have a very strong way of expressing my opinions, but do not misunderstand this. Just because I strongly disagree with someone's opinion or someone's behavior, right? That doesn't mean that I have something against this person or this person's identity. That is not how it works. Maybe I don't like their behavior. Maybe I don't like their opinion. But I know that as a person, I don't know them and I'm not going to judge them. Therefore, as long as there's only an opinion that I disagree with or a behavior that I disagree with, that is not enough for me to judge a person and start hating on them. I disagree with their opinions. Sure, I disagree with their behavior and I don't like that, but I don't have anything against them as a person because I don't know them. And I wish more people understood that, especially in the gacha space where people are so brainwashed and chronically online, where they will see one out of context clip or one out of context screenshot about someone, and then they will just assume they know everything about this person and act morally righteous because they want to satisfy their arrogant hatred. People nowadays, and especially in the gacha space, they got brainwashed into thinking that one random screenshot of some message or something else is enough to judge a person. Which, mind you, nowadays screenshots or clips can easily be edited. Like, easily, you can just edit it in the browser, you can edit it with AI. How unintelligent do you have to be to sit here and immediately assume that some random screenshot of something you saw on Twitter is true? 99% chance this has either been edited or it's been taken out of context to frame whatever person it's targeting. And people be sitting here eating this up. And those are the same people that will be responsible for the future, bro. These people will be in the position of power at some point. We're cooked, bro. It's over. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if we're making it past 2050 if these people will be responsible for the future, bro. And I guess this is also a bit of life advice for you guys. But if you're friends with someone just because of their opinions, like, this shit is not gonna last. This friendship is gonna fall apart sooner than you think. And if you don't challenge yourself, if you don't try to understand other people, even if you don't like their opinions, if you don't confront other people's opinions, and you just act morally superior because you think that you're better, you're never going to learn anything. You're never going to evolve. You're never going to see things from a different perspective. You need to argue with different people about different things so that you can develop different ideas, actually understand how people view things. And this has nothing to do with her in particular, but this is just something I've seen in general in the gacha space. And we can roast each other, we can disagree with each other, we can have fun, we can debate each other, but we don't need to go ahead and actively hate someone for who they are just because of one opinion. And the way this works is that someone starts the hate process, right? And then more and more people slowly start jumping onto this hate train until at some point it's just an accumulation of people that hate someone without even knowing why they hate them. People have seen 1 or 2 clips about some weird stuff she said in her video, and now they think this is all she said, but she made some good points in her video as well, right? She said some valid criticism about Natlan. She had some valid criticism about Columbina and Dotoria. I think it wasn't that bad. It's just that the entire section in the middle of this video was just really bad and illogical. But apart from that, her criticism wasn't that bad. But people are forgetting that and making it out to be as if she's this super evil person. People are acting as if she's the worst human being on earth. She didn't harm anyone. Literally no real person got harmed by what she said, and people need to realize that. Also, another thing that's very important, which I've been wanting to talk about that for ages: context. All the clips you see on social media about CCs that paint someone as a bad person most likely are taken out of context, especially if that person is controversial or has been hated in the past. I'm telling you, that's just how it works. So before you go ahead and judge someone for a small clip that you saw about them, right, on social media or anything, please keep in mind that there's a very high chance whatever clip or whatever message or whatever thing you saw about them is very likely that it has been taken out of context. I've been in that position. Others have been in that position. You need to realize that most things you see that are negative about someone, and especially if it's like short clips or just images, it's very, very likely taken out of context, because people very often have malicious intent. They don't want to provide any value with whatever proof or evidence they provide. They just want to capitalize off of the hatred that people have. They just want to get views. For them, lying or painting false narratives, or especially taking things out of context, is something they love to do so that they can get views and get attention and get likes and subs. And if you know me, then you know that I'm not going to sit here and force myself to talk about something that I'm not interested in, right? There's been so many dramas that I purposely did not make a video on because I just did not care, right? I only talk about a drama or a situation if I actually care about it and I actually have some valuable opinions on it, or I'm passionate about it. But I'm not going to force myself to sit here and talk about some bullshit that I don't actually care about just to capitalize off of the hatred that people have for someone and just to get those juicy views. There's a lot of CCs, not everyone, right? Obviously not everyone, but there's a lot of CCs who capitalize on that. They abuse the hatred that people hold for someone or a group of people, and they paint a false narrative. They blow things out of proportion. They only focus on capitalizing off of the hatred. They don't want to actually make any informative content about the topic or even make people laugh. Their goal is just to abuse the hatred that people hold in their heart for another being and to capitalize off of it. Whether they need to manipulate the narrative, whether it means they have to lie about someone, they're just gonna do it. They don't care. They don't see people as people. All they see them for is views, attention, and money. And I genuinely wish more people realize that. But yeah, everything I said about the CCs and stuff and their behavior is just about the gacha space as a whole, right? It's just very disgusting, and it's a pattern that you see every time there's any drama. And this stuff is always worse when it's about one person, because this is just a pattern that you see every time in the gacha space. There's a certain person that's being targeted. people are framed by others as evil. People are accused of things they didn't actually do. And people are often making someone out to be worse than they actually are. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I really just really wanted to talk about this, and I know this was kind of a serious video, but I think this was pretty necessary to upload. And I don't know what the next video is going to be, but let me know what you guys would like to see. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about this as a whole. And with that being said, as always, I wish everyone a nice and wonderful day.